The annual Morrison family gathering for my mother's birthday was in full swing at the Ritz-Carlton. Everyone who mattered was there, flaunting their traditional success stories while I sat quietly in the corner with my laptop, putting the final touches on what would become tomorrow's biggest tech news. "Still glued to that computer, Emma?" My brother Jack called out from across the room, his banking executive suit perfectly pressed. "You know there are real jobs available if you ever want to join the adult world." I adjusted my glasses, hiding a smile as I checked the pre-market trading numbers for my company, Nexus Technologies. The stock was already up 15% on rumors of our latest innovation, an AI system that would revolutionize global commerce. Not that my family knew anything about that. To them, I was just the youngest Morrison, playing around with her little website. "Leave her alone, Jack," my sister Victoria chimed in with fake sympathy. "Not everyone can handle corporate pressure. Some people prefer simpler pursuits." She emphasized the word while adjusting her law firm partner nameplate. If they only knew that this simple pursuit, they mocked, had just crossed $50 billion in market valuation. Nexus Technologies had been operating under my pseudonym for the past 5 years, while I maintained the careful facade of a small-time web developer. "Emma, darling," my mother called out, her voice carrying that familiar note of disappointment. "Must you bring work to my birthday? Those little websites of yours can surely wait." Little websites. I suppressed a laugh, thinking about the Forbes article scheduled to release in exactly 18 hours. The one revealing that the mysterious E.M. Nash, founder and CEO of Nexus Technologies, was actually Emma Morrison, their supposedly underachieving daughter. "Sorry, Mom," I said, closing my laptop. "Just finishing up some code." "Code?" My brother-in-law Derek snorted. "Is that what we're calling it now? When I was at Goldman Sachs we called it unemployment." The room filled with polite laughter. I checked my phone discreetly, a message from my COO Marcus. "Final verification complete. Forbes article approved. Stock market's going to explode tomorrow." "You know," Jack continued, swirling his expensive scotch, "Peterson and Blake is always looking for IT support staff. Not glamorous, but it's better than whatever startup fantasy you're chasing." I thought about the offer letter from Peterson and Blake sitting in my office, not for IT support, but for a complete system overhaul using Nexus Technologies' AI platform. The contract was worth more than Jack's annual salary. "Speaking of startups," Victoria added, "did you hear about Nexus Technologies? That mysterious AI company everyone's talking about? Their founder is supposedly revealing themselves tomorrow. Probably some Stanford dropout with rich parents," Derek laughed. "These tech people all smoke and mirrors." I touched the simple pendant around my neck, a gift from my late father who'd always believed in my potential. "You never know," I said quietly. "Sometimes the biggest innovations come from unexpected places." "Please," Jack scoffed. "Real success comes from hard work in established fields." "Right, Mom?" My mother nodded approvingly. "Exactly. Look at your siblings, Emma. Victoria made partner at 35. Jack's up for executive VP. And you're still, what exactly do you tell people you do?" "Web development," I replied, thinking about the quantum computing lab hidden in my small office downtown. The one that had just revolutionized artificial intelligence while my family thought I was designing restaurant websites. "At least she's independent," my Aunt Susan offered, trying to be kind. "Even if it's not quite what we expected from a Morrison." I checked my watch. 18 hours until the Forbes release. 18 hours until they learned that the Morrison success story was about to be completely rewritten. "Did anyone see the stock market today?" Jack asked, always eager to showcase his financial knowledge. "Tech sector's booming. Nexus Technologies hit another record high. Shame we can't invest, all their shares are locked up tight." I smiled, remembering the trust fund they'd tried to withhold when I refused to join a proper corporation. I'd used that money to fund Nexus's initial research, turning their attempt at control into the seed of my success. "Investment opportunities are everywhere," I said mildly. "If you know where to look." "Oh, Emma," Victoria sighed. "Not everyone can turn their computer hobby into Facebook. Some of us live in the real world." The real world, where my AI system was already revolutionizing everything from medical research to climate change solutions. Where Nexus Technologies was about to become the most valuable tech company in history. My phone buzzed again, another message from Marcus. Time magazine wants an exclusive. Your family's going to love the cover shot. The birthday dinner continued, a parade of achievements that seemed increasingly small compared to what awaited tomorrow's revelation. I excused myself briefly to take an urgent client call. Actually, a final review with my PR team about the Forbes release. Everything's set, Marcus confirmed over the phone. The major networks are already teasing the story. Tech's greatest mystery solved. Nexus Technologies founder revealed. Your family watching any TV there? I glanced at the massive screen in the Ritz's private dining room, currently muted but showing business news. Yes, perfect viewing angle for when it breaks. The stock's going to skyrocket, Marcus continued. We're already seeing unusual trading volume. People know something big is coming. Returning to the table, I found my brother deep in conversation about his latest major deal, a measly $50 million merger that wouldn't even register on Nexus's quarterly reports. That's what real business looks like, Emma, he said pointedly. Not sitting behind a computer screen all day. I thought about the contracts sitting on my desk, partnerships with governments, global corporations, research institutions, the deals that would reshape entire industries. How much does web design pay these days anyway? Derek asked with fake curiosity. Enough to cover your student loans? Student loans. I suppressed a laugh, thinking about the offshore accounts holding billions in Nexus stock. The private island I'd bought last month. The fleet of jets registered to my various shell companies. I manage, I said quietly. Speaking of managing, my mother interjected, isn't it time you thought about a real career? Victoria knows several firms looking for technical support staff. Technical support. While they'd been pushing me toward entry-level IT jobs, I'd been developing quantum computing algorithms that made traditional systems obsolete. My phone buzzed, a news alert this time. Market speculation intensifies ahead of Nexus Technologies' announcement. Stock hits new record high. Did you see this? Jack said, pointing to his phone. Nexus Technologies is now worth more than the top 5 banks combined. It's insane, nobody even knows who runs it. Actually, I started to say, but Victoria cut me off. Please don't tell us you're following these tech stocks now, she laughed. Stick to your website templates, dear. Leave the big investments to those who understand them. I thought about my personal stock holdings, larger than the combined net worth of everyone at this table times 1,000. The founder must be fascinating, my mother mused. Probably one of those brilliant Harvard types like Jack. Stanford, actually, I corrected automatically, then caught myself. I mean, that's what the rumors say. Look who's been reading tech blogs instead of working, Derek smirked. Though I suppose anything's better than another pet portrait website. The pet portrait website was actually a front for one of Nexus's AI imaging projects, technology that was about to revolutionize medical diagnostics. My phone buzzed again, Marcus. Press conference stage is set for tomorrow. Your family's going to love the backdrop, their company's logos among our clients. I glanced at the TV again. The business news ticker was now running constant updates about tomorrow's revelation. My brother's bank logo scrolled past. They'd signed a contract with Nexus last week, though Jack didn't know it yet. You know, Victoria said, examining her expensive manicure, Thompson Tech is looking for a social media manager. Might be a step up from freelance work. Thompson Tech. Another company that would soon be running on Nexus systems. Their CEO had personally begged for early access to our platform. I'll keep that in mind, I replied, checking the time. 15 hours until the Forbes release. 15 hours until they learned that while they'd been dismissing my computer hobby, I'd built the most valuable technology company in history. At least pretend to be interested in real business, Jack sighed. Look at Nexus Technologies. That's what happens when brilliant people apply themselves properly. Tell me more about Nexus, I said innocently. Since you're such an expert. Jack launched into a detailed explanation, most of it completely wrong about my company's technology. I listened with growing amusement as he confidently misinterpreted everything from our AI architecture to our market strategy. Their founder must be some kind of genius, he concluded. Not like these small-time developers who think they can change the world from their laptops. I touched my father's pendant again, remembering his words. Sometimes the biggest dreams look like tiny screens to those not brave enough to see them. As the evening wore on, the business news channel behind us began increasing their coverage of tomorrow's Nexus revelation. The constant ticker updates were starting to draw attention, even from my success-obsessed family. "This Nexus thing is everywhere," Victoria commented, finally noticing the TV. "What's so special about another tech company?" I was about to respond when my phone lit up with an urgent message from Marcus. "CNBC wants to break the story early." Forbes agreed. "Going live in 20 minutes. My heart jumped. Everything was accelerating. I quickly sent back, "Proceed as planned." "Their AI technology is revolutionary," Jack was explaining, reading from his phone. "Market valuation just hit $200 billion. Biggest tech story since Facebook." "Speaking of technology," my mother interrupted, "Emma, dear, your cousin Peter works in IT support. Maybe he could help you expand your, what do you call it? Web business." I checked the time, 15 minutes until the announcement. "Actually, Mom, I think tonight's about to get interesting." "Oh." Derek smirked. "Finally ready to admit you need a real job?" "Something like that," I murmured, watching the TV as CNBC's breaking news animation began to play. "Breaking news," the anchor announced, catching everyone's attention. "CNBC has learned the identity of Nexus Technologies' mysterious founder, and it's a revelation that will shock the business world." My family turned to watch, more out of boredom than interest. Jack raised the volume. "For 5 years," the anchor continued, "the tech world has speculated about E.M. Nash, the brilliant but anonymous founder of Nexus Technologies. Tonight we can exclusively reveal that E.M. Nash is actually—" My phone began ringing. Then everyone's phones started ringing. The anchor's voice carried clearly through the sudden silence. "Emma Morrison, the 29-year-old programmer who built Nexus while maintaining complete anonymity. Sources confirm she developed the company's groundbreaking AI technology while her family believed she was working as a freelance web developer." The room froze. All eyes turned to me as my photo appeared on the screen, not the casual shot they were used to, but my official Nexus CEO portrait. That's impossible," Jack whispered, his face draining of color. I stood up, straightening my jacket. "Sure, it's quite possible. M. Nash, Emma Morrison. Simple really. Though I suppose I should have mentioned it earlier." "You?" Victoria gasped. "You're the Nexus founder? The one everyone's been talking about?" I pulled out my Nexus ID card and placed it on the table. "Founder and Theo. Though I prefer that girl who plays with computers all day. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think?" But you design websites," my mother stammered. "Small business sites." "That was the cover story," I explained as my phone continued exploding with notifications. A necessary misdirection while I built something rather more significant. The TV was now showing Nexus headquarters, the gleaming tower downtown that my family had driven past countless times, never knowing I owned it. "Those little websites you mocked?" I continued, enjoying their shocked expressions. "Front-end interfaces for AI testing. Those computer games you laughed at? Quantum computing simulations. That online business you dismissed? Now worth more than your companies combined." Derek grabbed his phone, frantically searching stock sites. This is impossible. Nexus is worth $200 billion as of tonight," I finished for him. "Though that'll probably double by morning. The market tends to react when mysteries are solved." Jack was staring at his banking app. "The Morrison Trust Fund. It's empty." "My initial investment," I confirmed. "When you tried to withhold it unless I got a real job. Best startup funding I could have asked for." Victoria's legal mind caught up first. "Those contracts we've been celebrating, the tech upgrades, the system overhauls. All Nexus Technologies," I nodded. "You've actually been my clients for months. Those contracts you signed? I approved them personally." My mother sat down heavily, her birthday celebration forgotten. "Why didn't you tell us? Would you have believed me?" I asked quietly. "When you couldn't even believe in my little websites?" The TV was now showing my achievements. Youngest self-made billionaire, revolutionary AI patents, global technological innovations. All accomplished while my family thought I was struggling with basic web design. "The press conference is in an hour," I said, gathering my things. "You're welcome to attend. Though I suspect you'll be busy dealing with the media camping outside your houses." Emma, wait, Jack called out as I headed for the door. We didn't know. Exactly, I turned back. You didn't know because you never bothered to look past your own assumptions. Too busy measuring success by corner offices and partner titles to notice that true innovation doesn't always wear a business suit. As I left the private dining room, I could hear the TV continuing its coverage. Emma Morrison's Nexus Technologies has revolutionized artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and global commerce, all while her family reportedly encouraged her to seek entry-level IT work. In the lobby, Marcus was waiting with my executive team. Ready for the press conference? I touched my father's pendant one last time. More than ready. Though we should send some crisis management help to my family, they're about to discover what it's like to be on the other side of the headlines. The next morning, as Nexus's stock soared and the media frenzy intensified, I sat in my office reviewing the coverage. My phone was filled with messages from family members, apologies, congratulations, requests for meetings. I sent them all the same response: a link to Nexus's career page with an added note, now hiring entry-level positions. Experience with real jobs preferred. After all, success is the best revenge, but irony makes it sweeter.